I don't really know if this is recording properly or not, but I guess we'll see. I have worked in photography and videography for years, but for some reason I just couldn't be bothered with the light, making sure it's perfect. Because I've been putting this off or creating this for so long. And what this is will be a YouTube video or something that this is something I've wanted to do for so long. This ability to just naturally express myself. And I don't really know what I'm going to talk about today at all. Like I said, I think this has been coming for so long that I've put so much unnecessary pressure on it. This pressure to kind of create or to make something of value. And the last couple of years of my life has really been like that. I actually left full-time work to build an app. And it was the social media safety game for families and preteens. And I had some success with it, but the deeper that I got into it, the more isolated I became, the more I was doing it for something else. I don't know what that was. Maybe it was external validation. Maybe it was to prove a point. But it wasn't something that was really aligning with me and my values and my creativity. Now, I was able to be super creative within it, which is fantastic. Obviously, if you're building something, but not the kind of creative I want to be. And I think I've struggled with this concept of being creative or creating something over the years, because when I was younger, it always came so naturally to me to play music or to draw. And then eventually I got into photography and stuff. But I feel like there's nowadays, because there's so much accessibility and it's so easy to go do it, you sometimes just don't. Almost like you have to discipline yourself to go create that art. And I guess this is why I'm making this YouTube video, because I'm putting this pressure on to like even have a topic to decide about, or to a topic to think, or a topic to discuss. But I don't actually need it. And I guess that's where the beauty of creativity comes from, right? This kind of idea that like you can just get a blank canvas and throw some paint at it. You can just set up your camera and start recording and seeing what comes out. And I think it'd be really good experimentation. I think I might just put this up and see what comes of it. You know, I was thinking, I'll make YouTube videos of like, you know, I can talk about maybe philosophical things, and I can play my drums and my keyboard and make music and put it over it. And I definitely still can do that. Then maybe I'll have like cutaways of my paintings and stuff like that. And like, obviously there's a lot of logistics and steps to that. Of course, I was never going to fucking do it. So it was probably most important for me to just actually sit in front of the camera and just start shooting something. Because I guess you need to get the shit out in order to get the good stuff. But yeah, I think I've been definitely going through like a creative dry spell. Nah, not really a dry spell. Maybe that's not the phrase, but I've definitely given so much of my creative abilities to the app over the last couple of years. And because it wasn't creatively for me and wasn't aligning with my values, I think, and how I want to live my life, I think it just completely drained me. And I've been doing the Artist's Way as like a creative recovery program. And it's been great. I mean, I had to stop at the morning pages though, because Jesus Christ, it was getting intense. Like, even my therapist was like, you got to chill on that. And like, that's totally fine. I think I can come back to it at other stages and other points. But it's funny because in November, December last year, I started to learn how to paint properly. Now, like, when I was a kid, I would always draw and paint and like make things out of boxes and stuff. Like, I was super creative. And like I said, my career pivoted more towards photography in my early 20s. And painting wasn't something that I kind of continuously did. I would just pick it up sometimes and do some abstract stuff, whatever. But when I realized I had to shut down the startup, it became really difficult for me because there was this kind of ego death, I'm going to say, or this kind of death of an identity I thought I was going to have, or the person I thought I was going to become, or the future I thought I was going to have because of this startup. That's just never going to be it. It was never going to be it. But I had to realize that now in order to come over and come out the other side. But in between this kind of transition stage, I was like, I want to learn how to paint. So I was like, I really want to go to Florence. I was like, I'll go to Florence. And anyway, some stuff happened with my cat, and she had to go get a dental. So I was like, right, at the same time I was meant to I wanted to go to Florence, and then it was Christmas. I was like, okay, I won't have the money. I won't do it. But there's a painting studio down the road in Bray, in Wicklow, that I can maybe try and sign up for a few intense sessions and see what it's like. And I absolutely fell in love with it. And it was so different to photography, first of all. But the act of painting itself is first of all so slow compared to the kind of photography I was doing, which is mainly street photography and documentary style portraiture. But this was all about like slow effort, take your time, understand color, understand values. And I did those lessons and I can't stop painting since. It's almost become an addiction in probably the best way possible. And I don't know what that's about. Maybe it is because it's that creative release or something, like a creative act that I'm doing differently. I don't know. But maybe it is that self-expression. I'm having visions and ideas of different paintings I want to create from maybe traumatic experiences in my life, and to kind of transmute those emotions that I've felt onto canvas. And it's so interesting because you always hear of people who are like, oh yeah, express yourself through art because it's really good therapy or whatever. And I always thought about that as a concept, like, yeah, cool, like, makes sense, whatever. But actually doing it in person and also using your hands, like, we're in such a technology-based society that, like, actually we don't use our hands often enough. So the act of oil painting is so tactile. It's so nice to just be able to stick on your favorite music in your headphones and just fucking go for it. But yeah, the concept of actually just expressing oneself and being able to express yourself it's a privilege. First of all, I feel so privileged to be able to even paint, to be able to afford to go to painting classes, and to be able to afford paint, to be able to afford a camera and a light and a microphone and sit here and talk about my concepts and ideas, or even just to speak, not even ideas. There is a certain element of privilege there, and gratitude, I'm going to say, because for so long I felt like I haven't been expressing myself. I feel like I've been putting myself in some kind of box. Like, I'm 31 now, and because school wasn't particularly great for me, just because, like, being a creative person didn't really fit in the school system, like, that's fine. Coming out of it was so exciting, whatever. But I always was putting myself in this box of being like, you have to act a certain way to be friends with these kind of people, or do this kind of photography, fashion photography, to like, maybe make it. I didn't particularly like fashion photography. I think it took me a while to realize that. I did it for so long. And now it's a case of like, okay, like there's all these avenues that you've explored. Now it's time to explore yourself and explore yourself through the art. And it doesn't have to be like something that people like for an audience. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, oh yeah, you're going to post that on Instagram or whatever. Of course, this is going on YouTube, but I'm posting this on YouTube for me. If people see it and they like it, like, great. But if it doesn't resonate, it's not about that. It's for me. And once I've started actually expressing myself in order to gratify and satisfy myself, I've noticed I've become a lot more comfortable in myself and my art, and more ideas seem to flow to me because of it. So, and it's actually interesting because like it's just turned 2025, and I had this notion of like documenting things. And obviously I like documenting everything, doing photography and all that kind of thing, but documenting tactical, physical things. So obviously I have so many photographs on my Google Drive and my iPhone and my camera, my whatever, my hard drives from last year. So a friend of mine got me a photo album book in 2023. I haven't used it, so I was like, right, I'm gonna fill this up with photographs in 2024. And it's so lovely to have now. I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is going to be amazing in 10 years time. Like amazing. And it's for no one. I didn't share it on Instagram. I'm not going to put this on YouTube. Like I'm not going to show you what it looks like or anything, because it's not really for anyone but me. And similarly, like I want to obviously continue that this year, which would be really cool. It's just to document events, document how you feel, put it into like a scrapbook. And also documenting the self, documenting your identity and how you feel and how you portray yourself in the world. Like that's what I really would like to do. So over the year, I want to do like a series of maybe self-portraits with using my photography skills, or self-portraits with painting. I'm actually working on a self-portrait at the moment with my 2 cats. And like I said, it's for my own satisfaction rather than for anyone else's, or to showcase my talents to anyone else. And then, so like, I love the way I said that. I started this video being like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And I think I've been like 15 minutes and talking pure shit. But back to the YouTube videos, it's kind of like, once again, I'm just creating this for myself. This is not for anyone else. If people like it, great. If they don't, they don't. But I think I'm going to try continue to do this a little bit more and try document that creative journey, document the self, understand that it's okay to get that blank canvas and fuck paint at it. Example, it's easy to, and okay to put a camera in front of you and just start recording without any kind of preparation. Because maybe that's where the real art comes to life. So yeah, I think I'm going to do this a little more regularly. And maybe I'll add in my music eventually. Maybe I'll make music to like add in like ambient background, cool drum beats or something. And then maybe I will add in montages of me painting. Who the fuck knows? But I figured I had to start somewhere, right? I guess this is like the best place to start. So that's it. I'm going to upload this. I'm going to see what the story is and potentially do another one this week. I'm in between work. Like I said, my startup is completely finished. I could talk about that in another video and like what it took to build a startup. But now I'm currently looking for like full-time work because I got to pay the bills. So we'll see how much time I have to maybe dedicate to more YouTube videos. So yeah, we will see. But in the meantime, I will see you guys soon.